All right, what's up, guys? I don't know how long the stream is gonna be. Probably not that long, but I do need to journal my trades from today. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for this stream. I'm gonna be listening to music. So I'm gonna put the disclaimer right here, wherever it is, and yeah, I'm gonna make this small. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna be reviewing the trades I took today. So. Alright. So the first trade I took, I already have a screenshot for. Alright, so this was the trade. We need to save it as 931 inversion for value gap on the 15-second. And I took this live. Alright. Do a brief write-up. This trade was excellent. Textbook. Effect where market open pumps one way, inducing people, and then low time frame inverses the other way. This effect at market open and screen time was definitely beneficial to help me identify this trade. We also had two giant bearish SMTs. We went perfectly to 4 projections of which was beautiful. All right. Next trade. Okay, so at this point, right? I waited through all this, no trades. Eventually, I did take another trade, and it made a lot of sense, right? So we had obvious draws and liquidity to the downside. We had London lows and Asia lows and low resistance lows to the downside. So these were all reasons for me to be somewhat skeptical that we could go lower. So here's London. Here's Asia. And you can kind of see clearly these are really nice lows here, right? Very nice low resistance lows. This will eventually be a fabulous draw on liquidity. At some point, we're gonna this is gonna be really nice, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna go there right away. And so, Asia. Anyway, we inversed the first presented for value gap, and it seemed somewhat logical. Let's see, where's the first presented for value gap? Yeah, it was right here. Seems somewhat logical that with these low resistance lows down here, that this was maybe going to spark us to start moving towards these lows. I don't really have any regrets about this line of thought. I think this line of thought was correct, or at least not well, obviously it wasn't correct. It was wrong objectively, but I don't think it was bad. And so I'm wondering, what can we learn from this? Obviously, we didn't have clear AMD, but with the market already starting to move lower, it just kind of made sense that 10 a.m. could likely continue, and you can see that did not happen. So we should look at a few different things. One was their bullish SMTs, and I think there were, which that alone was probably good reason for us to be cautious, right? We do have bullish SMT here. Yeah, when we look at it like this, it's understandable. It could have been more clear, right? We obviously have bullish SMT with this low. Bullish SMT there. I probably should not have gone against that. Objectively, should have logically said, yo, we're in this fair value gap, this high time frame gap, right? These are all objectively true about the market in this situation, right? High time frame fair value gap and higher time frame was, market structure was bullish. These are all things that I maybe should have put a little bit more thought into, right? But I don't know. I don't think it was terrible. I say let's just take some notes and like try and learn something from it and move on. So, this trade was nice because it was an inversion of the first presented FEG towards a pretty solid draw on liquidity, in my opinion. Now, it didn't work out, and there were a few reasons for this. One being that we were in a higher time frame gap. Two, we got SMTs. What was the other thing? Three, higher time frame market structure was bullish, so I should have been more careful of that. Other than that, wasn't a terrible trade, but it's something I can learn from. I need to pay attention to higher time frame market structure. I'll just leave it at that. And this was at this was at 9:56. I think I would have liked to have scaled out on this one, but I guess I can't, huh? I would have liked to have held this one towards Asia and London. I don't know if I would have, but I would have liked to, and if so, this would have been like 6R. I don't think this was, once again, I don't think this was terrible. Oh, and then fourth, the other thing. Fourth thing I wanted to say is fourth, AMD could have been clearer. Alright. So here's the 5-minute gap, right? You can see obviously we have this 5-minute breaker pretty clearly overlapped with this 5-minute gap. So logically, I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, these are reasons to assume that we could get some continuation to the downside. Once again, I don't think this trade was terrible. And then here's that 1 minute. And interestingly, I think we did have a bearish SMT. Could be wrong. Yeah, we literally do. Yeah. I had to have my stop loss there, and I didn't. That's why I ended up risking more than I wanted to. Yo, Jake, can you join my server? Of course, bro. What does what say exactly? Oh, when I try and join? Send me a request, bro. I'll join it. You gotta DM me, though. Yeah, like I said, guys, I don't think this is terrible. You can see we even had bearish SMT delivering from this breaker. This is probably how I would have taken the trade. That's 5R. So, I don't know. It's okay. I do want to learn from it, but I think the main thing was higher time frame was bullish, and that's okay. Right? Oh, and the other thing was the RTH gap. That's right. See, now, when you include this RTH gap as a draw on liquidity, all of a sudden this is a really, really nice trade. And I like I said, I do want to learn more, figure out why this trade why this trade did fail, because trades like this, and we can learn from them, it's going to make us powerful. Alright, sent on Discord. Sick. I like it. Trade estate. That's nice. A W. Looking good, bro. I'm liking it. I'm liking the server. It's looking good. Alright. It's looking good. It is simple. I like it. Yeah, I mean, post profits and trade strategies. I love it, bro. Yeah, man, guys, when you look at the trade like this, I can't lie. I really don't hate this trade. Like, I think this is a really good one to learn from because, you know, I really don't know what all I did wrong here. I think this was a pretty fine, but it's not as reliable as I thought. Yeah, that happens, bro. It's okay. Trading's hard. Dang, bro, I really don't hate this trade. I think this was fine. You can obviously see we have this giant RTH gap below. And I likely would have gone break even within this area, right? Within this area, I would have likely gone break even. Nah, I don't know. I'm never going to be perfect. I think this was a fine trade. I obviously want to learn as much as I can from this, though. This is one I do want to come back to later and learn from more. Usually, though, when we inverse the first line of value gap, especially like this, it's usually we're going to at least get some kind of reaction off of it. So I am kind of surprised. Alright, 9:57, first one value gap, inversion, 1 minute. I took this one live. Yeah, why else did this fail? I mean, obviously it was within a higher time frame gap, right? Within this 15-minute gap. But why was there a draw on liquidity that trumped over the RTH gap getting filled? That is something that I am curious about. Like, why was the draw on liquidity stronger to the upside here? Like, what could have possibly been? This consolidation, maybe? Yeah, I mean, there is a massive liquidity pool here. Yeah, this is a pretty solid liquidity pool. If I go over... Yeah, oh, now that actually makes a lot of sense. Damn. That actually makes a lot of sense. Such a unique situation, because I think most of the time my trade would have played out. I think most of the time when you take a trade like the one I did, it's likely going to play out. But you can see it didn't, because what do we have above this? We have a massive liquidity pool. Okay, well, that's another thing I'm going to mark out. So, whoops. Update. As I am marking out this trade more, I am noticing that we had a massive liquidity pool above that was untapped. This liquidity pool was very obvious and very strong and held priority over the RTH gap. This is a huge lesson learned for me. I need to remember to check the high time frame for these untapped liquidity pools and be very careful not to trade against them. All right, post-trade approval. Yes, definitely. I tried my best. I took a trade that I liked. Whoops. Whoops. $9.57. Oh yeah, how many RR was this? $5.25. Let's. Oh man, I guess I couldn't take partials, huh? So yeah, it's gonna be all off at the end there. And then yeah, I mean the rest of the entire time that I was trying to short, I ran into the same issue. That liquidity pool was just too strong. So fascinating though. What a valuable lesson to learn. I mean, yeah, you can clearly see we do not breach past 672. And where's the liquidity pool, guys? When I measure out this entire range, where's the point of control in this? It's right here at 25,698. And you can see the market goes and takes that. That's the drawn liquidity here. Not here, here. All of this was untapped, inefficiently delivered. We needed to come through there. And so it kind of creates this situation where every single other short I took, which maybe normally could have played out, also failed because I was shorting prematurely because there was a giant untapped liquidity pool above. This trade and the following trade were both L's for the same reason. The second one was an L. I had the wrong draw on liquidity. It goes to show sometimes when you're wrong, you need to chill out because you might end up being wrong over and over simply because your draw on liquidity is wrong. And sometimes it Anyway, the reason this trade failed and the trade prior and the trade after were all because of the massive untapped pool above, which had not been that makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Anyway, actually, I know why all the trades failed. At this point, I'm just gonna end the stream because, yeah, I need to get up early.